All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Man, it's felt like a month since we started. No, I'm saying that because we haven't recorded in a while, guys. So let me introduce my great friends, Jorge Martinez from the Exchange,
What's
Steve
up?
Pontecorvo, TNV Clothing. What's going on, guys?
You already know, kid. Everybody's good. Everybody's rocking. Everybody's happy. Red Bull fans are happy. NYC fans are happy. Everybody's happy.
Talk to me, Steve.
I mean, I think we're happy on the East Coast that it's Memorial Day and the sun's back out, you know what I mean? So we're feeling good. We're going back to the beach, down the shore. But yeah, both teams are feeling pretty good on either side of the river, but Red Bull's still, I want to see more. I'm not totally satisfied right now.
You're not totally satisfied, but we actually had back-to-back wins. I honestly can't remember the time we had it. Obviously, we beat. Oh, go ahead, Jorge.
Back-to-back wins, and one of them was on the road.
And one of them their first road victory. That's exactly what I was gonna say. And it actually took 8 games to get that done in the season. So we finally get it done. 2-0 against DC United, and we won on penalties against Dallas. 2-2 the score, and then in penalties we won 4-3. I guess we can just start touching on what happened in the U.S. Open Cup, just your emotions, what happened in that victory. Huge victory that led us to the quarterfinals. We're now going to play Philadelphia Union. And yeah, just another chance at a cup. But how do you guys feel about beating Dallas, a tough team that came to Harrison last week?
I
Yeah,
was waiting for them to fuck up.
Just straight up.
I was waiting for them to fuck up. I told you guys before we left, I'm like, just like the U.S. men's national team, you're not surprised if they win, and you're not surprised if they get smacked. When they went up 1-0, I'm like, dude, no. I'm like, no. I was like, I knew this was gonna happen today. There's like 15 people in the stadium. Did I really waste my Wednesday night? And they lucked out with a big bounce and a terrible goaltending on a free kick for the ML, and then they won in PKs. Mercucci did what he had to do in the PKs. Shout out to him. But I was waiting for them to fuck this up.
Yeah, Steve was pissed at Chupo because he had some good chances. One really good chance that he blew, but we were both at the South Ward and we're like, dude, what's going on with the team? Nobody was happy. Everybody was watching the Knicks game at that same time. Yeah, dude, it wasn't pretty, but we got it done, Steve.
yeah, it wasn't pretty. And I just feel like those guys, like the DPs, they maybe didn't take it as serious this match. This was supposed to be their game off too. But yeah, I mean, when we went down 1-0, I honestly wasn't worried. I was expecting a reaction from this group that was on the field. These young guys, I knew they were hungry. They wanted to score. And we saw that with Sofo scoring again. Tenacious, forward winger. I mean, he's really been our newcomer of the year so far. He's always in the right place at the right time. He's quick. He gets to those loose balls. So I knew Red Bulls would have a reaction to FC Dallas's first goal. But seeing what was that, Acosta score and make it 2-1, I was genuinely worried. And that's when I asked Sandro too, what was your move on that? He changed up the formation. He opened things up a little bit, went to a back three, put in Hack. Luckily, Emil's shot goes off the wall, right? We can say it's a little bit of luck, but you need to be
You need
good
those.
to have that little bit of luck, right? We'll take it puck luck. That's what we say in hockey. You get the bounces. Red Bull finally get a bounce. And yeah, it's a win. But to me, like that's what I was saying, back-to-back wins. Like it doesn't feel like back-to-back wins. Like that was
Mhm.
really a draw. Like in all, even like we didn't deserve to win that game. Like we were able to be good enough in the penalty shootout to win, which is good for that group's confidence moving forward.
Yeah, and actually, like you said, we were able to win on PK shootouts, which was something I think we struggled in the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
So we now are kind of putting ourselves in like this mentality that we can do this. So it was huge, and yeah, I love AJ Marcucci's save, and then Carlos Coronel coming to hug him. Huge because that's the camaraderie that you want to see in the team. Like I said, it's a huge victory, a huge opportunity to move in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
just say one other thing. Like, it's big for the fans. Like, you obviously like for the diehards. Let's put it that way. Like for the crazies, like people, who are in the South Ward, like myself, and for others, some other people like to wait until this gains a little bit more traction, and we're in the semifinal or in the final to care. but it's still an important competition. It's the America's oldest competition. So I'm proud that the boys who are on the field, like AJ's, and we'll even shout out Raheem a little bit. Okay, somewhat of a bounce back game. But I still think it needs to mean a little bit more. It sucks that we don't have that full stadium, but at least we got the, shout out AJ, a couple good AJ chants. I mean, the
Is
vibes
it
were set.
free? Are those free?
Yeah, and that's the difference too. It's like they're all free on Paramount Plus. So this one is very accessible. So if you have Paramount Plus, you're able to watch Champions League games, European games. You'll get US Open games on there for free. So just go on Paramount and
But
just go
what
on
about like to
soccer.
get into the stadium?
I think the members have access, right? The season ticket members have access to these games.
Oh, really? That's it.
If I'm not mistaken. But like the tickets were $11 and
Yeah.
probably cheaper on
Dude, you
the
know what's
third side
crazy?
websites.
I just commented on somebody's page. I went with my daughter and my lady a couple weeks ago, and it was, who was it? Montreal? Yeah, I think it was Montreal. Um, or Kids Day, whatever day that was. The tickets were cheaper than the fees from StubHub for 3 tickets.
Yeah, no, to get
Yep.
access to get in there is not that expensive, honestly,
No.
unless it's a messy game.
Yeah, I mean
But
they're giving away tickets for free to this match too. So we're trying to get anybody in the building to give this competition again like some traction here to make it like meaningful because everyone wants MLS Cup. Like we all know it's MLS Cup. Arguably, I'd say Leagues Cup would be second, and then this is like the third tier. So it is the most, I say, accessible for Red Bulls to reach this final. I know we got to go on the road to Philly, but now that you kind of got that lucky bounce and we're able to get through DC half-heartedly and a half-ass performance, why not take it a little bit more serious now and go for that silverware?
yeah, but that's what I have to reiterate, that it's important. We're only 3 wins away from lifting a cup that we've been looking forward to get for a couple of years since 2017 in that final, and an opportunity to play Champions League, man. Like it's there, and you have Philly, Nashville, or DC, and whoever the fuck is on the West, who really doesn't scare me. Unless if you really think about it, we can't win away. So then
There,
again.
yeah, and that the hardest game for the Red Bull if they do reach the final will be that final because they don't have hosting priority. If
Yeah.
we win, we'll have the graciousness of hosting a semifinal, which will be great. I think the stadium would fill up for that way more than what we saw, a week ago. But the final, Minnesota gets the top priority. So if it is like a Minnesota versus Red Bull final, we'd be in Minnesota in a one-off.
I
So
think we're going, right? If we go to the final, what you say, Jumpy? Bring in the exchange,
Yeah,
Steve.
we go to Minnesota.
I love it. I love.
yeah, at least it's in the summer. I hope it's in the middle of the summer. No, I
I
don't
have
want.
this thing. I have like this infatuation with Minnesota. And every time I meet people from Minnesota, they're like, dude, you don't want to go there. It's like the coldest place in the world. I'm like, I have this like infatuation. Like, I don't
I
know
mean,
what
the
it is.
people are funny as hell up there.
I don't know, dog. I don't know. Will
Wait,
Trap.
what's
Shout out to Will Trap, the homie Will Trap.
I love
Uncle
that
Will.
you. Yeah, Will Traub, great guy, great guy, great interview from the exchange too. Go check that out. But yes, we move on, and then obviously the test against DC was I think a tough one, because at some point where we're holding on to that 1-0 lead, we're like, all right, it is the draw is going to happen at any point.
Hmm.
And we were able to hold on. And I one of the things that I have to praise when we play DC is that we started Cam Harper. Um Cam the hero. He was the man of the match for this game. So I don't know if you guys want to touch on him or any players that stood out against DC. Also, remember that we didn't have Noah Island, Sean Nealis for this game. So Tim Parker and Alexander Hack had to start. Just your overall thoughts on the game.
Carlos Coronel needs the bag. Carlos Coronel.
Again.
Carlos Coronel easily helped this team get another W. And then again, Sofo. Come on, man. Sofo
So for
has been
Mania,
unreal. I worry that we're souping up Sofo because they're gonna sell him. Like
No, 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 no. They
I
won't.
worry
No,
about
I don't
talking
think
good
so.
about some guys because
He's too
they can't
young
have anything
still.
good.
10
He,
million to Barcelona.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, but it was a
Yeah,
great game.
he actually the thing is about this too is which I like with some of these homegrown players is that they actually feel a connection to the club, which is
Mm.
half the fucking battle. Because if he didn't give a shit about this club, then yeah, he'd be out the door. But you see, after he scored that goal, he's kissing the badge. Like this team means something to him. He knows who the fans are. Red Bull are the ones that gave him this opportunity when a lot of other academies wouldn't pick him up. So I think he is in debt to Red Bull, New York for a little while until, obviously after 2 years, maybe back-to-back years of performances like this, and then I'll get a little scary. But, it is like a rookie breakout year, and let's just keep riding Sofo as much as we can. Keep him healthy. And I want to see him bigger. He's still young, man. Like imagine this guy at like 24. You know, he's gonna be
Yeah,
deadly. He really,
yeah,
he really has the tools, you know, and the repertoire to really be a deadly winger.
dude, and his numbers are crazy. 6 goals in the season. Some of them in
Savage.
U.S. Open Cup and then MLS, and nobody was expecting this for him. That's the crazy part.
What's
Nobody
the highest goaling? Who has the highest goals right now in the league?
in the league. Ooh, I gotta check. All I know is that our goal scoring leader is Chupa with 7, which he needs to amp those numbers up. But I can look for that right now. Also credit to Red Bull as well. We talk shit about Red Bull all the time, but two people that they have pushed, even if it's just due to injuries and circumstances, Omar Valencia and Mohamed Sofo, who are delivering this year. I mean, that's one thing that I wasn't expecting either. So I guess it works, but we also don't want them to use every young player they have and not bring any other stars. That's the
Unless that's the way.
oh,
Sometimes
yeah,
it
you're
works.
100% with that. You're sponsored by Rebels. You love that. you,
By
you
the
love
way,
that,
it's
Jorge.
Ty Baribo. Ty, I don't
13
know how to
goals,
say it.
right?
From
Oh my
Philly. Yeah,
God,
yeah. Ty from
13
Baribo
goals.
from Philly. And then in second place with the amount of goals, 10 goals, is our boy Brian White. Shout out Brian White.
Brian White. Wow, no surprise there, man. Um, but yeah, obviously those two players from the academy have stood out. They did great against DC. Were you happy with the performance from the players? I think Chupa and Email in the first half, they look very active, man. We look like at least we try to make a statement, try to attack them, try to win. Then it kind of like balanced out a little bit, but I was pleased with the performance. What you guys
I
thought?
think they did good. I think they did good. I think Sandro didn't get too cute for himself when it went down one, which sometimes he does. I think everybody was on all cylinders. What we've been asking for is exactly what they gave everybody the second time around. The first time around, they could have lost. Technically, they drew. But yeah, I think it was a good performance.
Wait, second time around the Drew? What you mean?
Second time of the week against DC, it worked out. The first game against Dallas, it was a draw. It
Oh,
didn't
okay.
really work out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I attest to that too because the performance wasn't there and we scored in the last minute. We got that bounce. Someone has to win that game, which I can't believe that we ended up playing extra time and not going straight to PKs. See, this is where it's strange where I thought a competition like that, I wouldn't mind just going straight to PKs instead of in the MLS Cup, if teams are tied after 90 minutes, it looks like you just go straight to PKs that we saw versus the Columbus Crew. So we just all these different rules and regulations, like it just confuses people, honestly.
Yeah, but how big was it to advance to the quarterfinals on the mental side for the players and the coaching staff?
Oh,
You
of
don't think
course.
that helped against DC?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. I think it's a little bit of a monkey off their back too, because they were looking to bounce back from the bad performance against NYCFC, right? You want to answer to losing a derby, and they did it. It wasn't pretty, but they answered. We got a little luck from the soccer gods. We'll take it, and we carried that momentum into DC United, which we played them so much better this time. We kind of knew what they were gonna do. And even look, Hack and Tim, they played a full 90, which is good because they're the rested players. So I don't mind that. That's the one position that we actually have depth. That right. We just saw an emergency situation. Noah's out for yellow cards as well as Sean Nealis. We have two competent other replacements. They're not world beaters, but they're capable of getting results against a DC that we need. We can't keep going like this on the road, like we said.
Jorge, I know that's your boy. Do you think that Parker has any chance of taking over Nealis' spot?
Timmy
I know
boy.
that's what he wants. Um, when I asked him short-term goals, long-term goals for the season, his short-term was to get into this mixed starting. And I think we would all agree that we would rather see him back there starting than Sean, depending on the day of the week.
No, yeah, look at
Depending on
Tim.
the day of the week. This week, Tim did the right thing by filling in for him, but there's like such a difference. It's wild. It's wild the difference in player, both of them. Sean, you could start to see his age is starting to catch up to him. He runs like he got a pound of shit in his ass. Like seriously. But also, listen, let's not front. A couple weeks ago, Tim Parker had a shit game
Against DC.
against DC. So Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, no, I think that you're spot on. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say that he can take over that spot yet, but I think if Nealis is not being careful, I pointed it out on X and JJ Pavlik, shout out to him. I respect his work, but he was about to kill me because I called out Sean Nealis. But there were some bad plays against Nashville and against New York City FC that made me question why is he starting. Obviously, I respect like he's a decent defender, but there's some things that need to be fixed. And I think Tim is being cautious about taking risk in the back line. He's solid. I wouldn't say like he's taking over the spot, but you know, right now for Wednesday, I think I would play him, especially after a shot. I win, wouldn't you?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Keep it going. I mean, like we said, we got a lot of games, so he can split up the time this week. You got a game Wednesday and a game Saturday. So Tim is gonna start, I say, one of these games. If you
Hmm.
want to give him Charlotte, if he's looking good, feeling good, I'd say give him that Charlotte game midweek. And then maybe I think I can see Sean returning to the lineup on Saturday as well.
Yeah,
So I'm
If
really
you want
pumped. What?
if you wanted to see him against one of these teams, which one would it be?
I just worry about Wilf Zaha and who would match up better with that. You need Noah in,
I get
please.
man too. I get
You
man too.
need
He's strong.
honestly, now that I think about it, I would go back to Noah and Sean against again.
The
I'm
roller
sorry, I'm
coaster.
sorry. I'm not trying to flip. I just said make your choice. Go back to them midweek. What you think Noah and Tim? I know you want Noah and Tim. I'm going back to Sean Nealis midweek. Start Hack and Tim Parker versus Atlanta for Pride Night. There you go.
I I cut you off, but what? Why was the reason that you would go with that lineup or that pair?
Just because the way Sean could get under an opponent's skin, I mean, that's what Will tries to do. And they got Aubameyang as well. They just got testy
I
forwards.
get
And
man. I get man.
yeah, Ajimam. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
Well, I was going to say Obama Yang. When did that happen?
Oh my God. Honestly, yeah, giving me nightmares. But yeah, no, I just think Sean can match up a little bit better against those players than Tim Parker right now.
Yeah. No, that's fair too.
Physically and speed wise too.
Okay, that's fair. Jorge.
You know where I stand with this. I would like to see Parker back there, Noah back there. I love what Noah brings to the field. You could see that what he didn't, what because he wasn't there, you can see that they were missing that defender that was getting in there trying to get scrappy and then bouncing back.
Yes.
But you can see how much of a game changer Noah is when he is because he's like an offensive guy. Like he gets into the mix, he goes up, he dribbles up with the ball, makes something happen, has enough time to get back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he offers
No,
so much.
honestly, I don't even want to talk about him because I'm afraid someone's going to try to offer and steal him away from us. So,
At some point, that's going to happen.
yeah, his
It will.
performances have been really underrated. And shout out Noah Isla. He's been really making that step this year that we expected. Unlike certain other players, we won't be as hard on Serge Goma. But I mean, it's good to see Noah. I mean, it's an important position center back and have that Swedish guy back there commanding the field. We only need one more to make the Swedish House Mafia a real thing, right? It's
Nah,
possible.
but I also before I forget, I also want to shout out Kyle Duncan too in that back line because I think he's solid. And again, like he just came back from a serious injury and he's been performing well so far. Maybe they could have been. better performance against the Derby in against New York City FC. But no, I'm happy
Everybody
that
was off that day.
yeah. That's true too. That's true. It was a tough
Everybody
day.
was off. It didn't work out the Derby.
And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was Kyle's what is that 100 appearances for Kyle as a
Mm,
New York Red Bull as well. So
huge.
shout out Kyle Duncan,
You know what's crazy?
been loyal to the brand.
When was it? A couple months ago, when we did Cam Harper, I forgot. I even put it on ours. He just completed 200 games.
Who?
Cam Harper?
200. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I gotta check on that. That's
Dude, check
crazy.
it. I'm almost right because I remember somebody saying like congrats, and my question after that was like, you know, somebody just mentioned like you're 200 games in. You're like a vet, but you're so young.
23.
Yeah, but he's had 200 matches.
Um, well, like I don't think Google has updated his information. It still has
Listen,
him
I have a
at
good app.
nine.
I got it. I got a
But
good app.
no, I mean, if it's 200 games, that's pretty
You gotta
impressive.
have these stats up and ready. We can't be you
Yeah,
can't
we
be
can be
stat
though.
checking mid
Dude,
pod.
listen to
But I'll
me.
get I
There's
got
a
you what?
there's a website. It's called, I mean, FOTMob, FOTMOB.
Of
Yeah,
course.
And it had you have it?
Yeah, I know
it's
FOMO.
known. Yeah, very popular.
Oh, dude, it's a home run. You could type in, I'm gonna type in Cam Harper. We're gonna find out how many games these jerk offs played.
Well, between the two, Kyle Duncan and Cam Harper, they've been stalwarts for this franchise for a number of years now. And like we said, there's another players that genuinely have a deep connection to the club, family ties to the club, have given a lot of time and effort, and we've hoped to only reward them honestly with another finals appearance. And I hope they can leave us fans with with more than they came with.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They deserve it.
Yeah, they
Um,
do.
I want to bring somebody else back. I think Jorge, you love to mention him, Carlos Coronel, because I think this was his sixth shutout in the season, and I think last year they mentioned that it was four. But dude, he's been the guy that's keeping us on the game,
Mm,
especially because that first opportunity that DC had, they had nothing going on. We let a pass go through our defense, and he was there ready to make that save. That's a tough save. That I don't think people have been giving him the credit that he deserves. Like literally in front of the goal, and he chooses the right place to block that. That's to me was impressive. So I'm giving him the kudos that he deserves, Jorge. So I hope you're happy with that.
I want you to give him some of your checking account. Is what I want you to give him.
I don't
Kudos
think
don't
he'll
pay
be
the
happy.
bills. Kudos don't pay the bills.
We might need to sell some of Steve's jerseys to make him a little happy, man.
You
um,
guys better figure something out because somebody's not paying this guy. Listen, the last thing you want is this guy to leave to another team. But I do think if he leaves to another team, it's not gonna be a team in the MLS. It'll be a team in like Brazil. He'll go home
yeah.
or somewhere down there, play in Panama, wherever the fuck he's from.
I don't know how long they could wait out for. We talked about this, I mean, almost last month, and I told you they would wait until the summer, and it looks like it's going to be that way. Maybe somebody he in his camp was told that, so he's not worrying, trying not to worry about it as much. I mean, as much as anybody can. You want to have that, secured as a player. You're thinking about your future. You care about the team, and he really, honestly, he showed a lot of fight for this team. I care for this team. We saw it in the playoffs. We saw it that he's a mentor to AJ. So not only is he doing it on the field, he's doing it off the field, going above and beyond, where he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to be that guy for AJ. Two completely different guys. AJ's from New York, New Jersey. Carlos is from Brazil. He could have just easily been ignoring him. So Carlos is doing the right thing, and I think it'll work out for the guy no matter what. If it's with us, I hope. If not, then I know wherever he goes, good things will happen for him.
that was lovely. That was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
great leader,
And I
leadership.
just want to, yeah, he's a very, very great leader. I mean, and then goalkeeper is very important. He made some great saves, great game from Carlos. So let's give him his flowers. We need the bag for him. We'll hook him up with a Brazil kit for now to keep him happy for a week or two. And until then, we'll see what happens. I'm still waiting to bring in someone else for the summer to complete this team, and I can't wait to see Marcelo Morales on that left hand side. I know we've been stroking off Omar Valencia, but he's still young, and those crosses, honestly, they got me scratching my head. He's had multiple times to cross the ball, and it's either too short or it's way over hit. And I get it. He's young, maybe you know he's got a little pressure on him, but some of these crosses, like he has time on the ball to like measure out a cross, and you're aiming for Chupo. And when Chupo doesn't get that service, he kind of throws up his hands. He gets frustrated a little bit, and I kind of saw that in the game. So that's why Chupo wasn't really getting much. But in the U.S. Open Cup game, I saw Chupo's just lack of effort, lack of intensity, and I just don't want that to rub off in some of these other serious games.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the maturity, right? Like you mentioned, like being composed when you have to deliver a cross. But I gotta give him credit. He did have a strong play where he won the ball, play a 1-2, and dish it out to Emil in the first half, and Emil missed it. He has to put those away.
Yep.
But that was Valencia. So he'll give you those bad crosses, but overall, I think yeah, he's also a solid performer out there. And just before I forget, you bring something important. You mentioned the summer, and Felipe Carvalho is out for this game, and he's probably gonna be out for Charlotte. Let's remember, I think he's gonna have 4 weeks left of his contract. I just want to ask you on that, and then also, is Peter Stroud good enough to replace him if he were to leave?
I love Peter Stroud's heart. I think Peter Stroud has a lot of heart. You can't buy heart. I think he's a guy that you lose a lot if you lose a guy like that. And not just on the field, I think in the locker room with the fans, which is super important. Um, I like you guys know I like Cavallo. I think he's an amazing player. Um, but other than the two goals that he scored in the playoffs, what the fuck has he done? You know what I mean? So like I would take a Peter Stroud. Carvalho's a dime a dozen. You'll find another guy come in and do the job from July on, and then we'll be back in the same discussion next May.
Yeah,
Steve?
and just that, and I guess staying healthy too. I mean, I didn't really. He kind of just was injured out of nowhere. I mean, it's also, I guess, good timing for him because his contract's like ending. Like, I didn't know if like there's something going on with that. Like, will he even see the field again as a New York Red Bull? I
Oof.
mean, I
Oh,
hope
I
so.
didn't think of that.
I
That's why
hope
I
so.
bring it up. That's why I bring it
He
up.
Yep. I mean, he might really milk this injury and just kind of wait until the contract expires. Yeah, I love Peter Stroud too. Again, he has a lot of heart. He makes a lot of good tackles. Same with Felipe Carvalho. A lot of stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheets, but Felipe Carvalho puts in those last minute slide tackles. He's got that flair. He's got that passing mobility. He's a box to box midfielder. He's an important player for this team. He is not going to score all those goals, but yeah, man. I mean, that goal against NYCFC, you're in Red Bull lore forever for scoring that. So you can't do anything
Yeah,
wrong, really.
that's true. That's true.
But
You got to give it up. I mean, that's a banger that I can relive, all of us fans. But yeah, I mean, it seems like he's going to be on his way out. So we'll get a guy exactly what Jumpy said to do the job, and we'll see from there. But we need the depth. We can't just rely on Peter Stroud. We need to bring else another CDM in there.
ooh, okay. But I mean, they do have Benedetti, who they have high expectations from Rebel too.
And Duncore too, I guess, kind of fills in that
And
role a
Doncor.
little bit as well. Looking to see maybe if he can take another step, which we saw flashes of that in last year. A lot of this team got really excited about Ronald Duncore. So I'm hoping that maybe he could take another step forward as well. Him and Sofo are boys. So if they can feed off of each other, that would be good.
The question: Can Peter Stroud replace Felipe Carvalho?
No,
Nah, not like for like. No,
Oof. Okay.
but he
Perfect.
brings a again.
different dynamic.
He did
Yeah,
good
No,
against the sea, I think.
he brings something else that something money can't buy. Like the fans like him. He's probably a great locker room guy. I see them going out to training. He's in the mix with a lot of guys. Um, I think there's sometimes things where money you can't buy certain things with certain guys on the club. Sometimes guys have roles on the club where it's not about what they do on the field. It's maybe what they're doing off the field. Like a Sean Nealis. I can see a Sean Nealis being a great locker room guy. The fans love him. So like you have to take those things into consideration. Carballo, people were ready right after the final. People were ready to, all right, send him back. We don't want him back. They were ready to let him go. Now, a couple months later, you're gonna say, "Yeah, let's keep him around." Come on, guys.
Welcome to the New York Rebels fan base. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what really the Rebels' decision is going to be, but it'll be great if they can work out another year extension where he's not a DP and we can still bring somebody else in. I don't know.
Who's the somebody else you want?
I can't say Timo Werner now. it's
Yeah,
it's
honestly, and
over.
I don't even know any other names that we've heard of. I really haven't heard any other rumors circling around, so we'll have to start a few ourselves, I guess.
Steve
Sue.
Pontecorvo. Oh,
Ooh,
sir.
but I want to shout out my boy Brandon Allen and Sofo. I mean, Brandon Allen was the last rookie for, I mean, at least Red Bulls 2 to score, 16 goals in the single season
Oof.
and bring Red Bulls 2 their only championship and that star above their badge. So shout out Brandon Allen. Shout out Mo Sofo making that jump and making scoring. Oh, I bet you he's going to score the most goals for a first time Red Bull. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to book it now. Placing my bets right there.
It's gonna be clipped. I'll clip this at the end of the season. Um, I we're gonna finish the conversation here, but before we go, obviously, what are the predictions for tomorrow's match and maybe Saturday? Yeah, because we're not gonna record again. So give us your predictions against Charlotte and Atlanta.
Steve, you want to start?
Oof, yeah, sure. Charlotte's going to be a really tough game. They're right where we are. Both teams playing mid. Both teams 6 wins and 6 losses. It's going to be a tough one. I'm actually going to say, man, it's going to pay me, but I think Charlotte gets the win this time. They haven't beat us
Ooh,
at home yet before in their history. I think Zaha's hungry. I think he'll get a goal and I think Charlotte will beat us 2-1 in this
what
match. We're
what?
still missing Lewis. We're still missing Lewis, but
We
I
didn't
think
even touch that. We didn't even
oh,
touch that.
yeah, off the back of that loss though, we will beat Atlanta 2-0 at home.
I'm
What
thinking a draw tomorrow and they win on Saturday. 2-2 tomorrow, and I'm thinking a 3-1 Saturday.
are you guys being negative because Elias Manuel is no longer in the team?
That
Hey.
too, we don't have our Charlotte killer anymore. And I mean for Lewis too, interesting stat. He's the eighth most all-time scoring leader for the New York Red Bulls. Think about that. And
Oof.
how
Lewis?
much have we even seen him on the field? He's number 8 on the list. Okay.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. Go look
And
that up. There you go. There's a stat. There's a clip right there. Clip that. Lewis Morgan, 8th on the list for all time scores for New York Red Bulls.
That's
Damn,
crazy.
somebody can prepare for the recording. All
Yeah.
right.
Yo,
So
Steve,
it
what do
really
you
is that big of a deal of just goal contributions and then just goals scored in general, where having that outlet to your left, like having email get the ball by his foot, look up, look to his left, see Lewis, or look to his right, see Sofo or Chupo or Daniel next to him. It makes everything, the whole thing move forward a little bit easier. And Felipe will miss him. But I will say about that is that at least he can be replaced. He is replaceable. Stroud is like a cover-up job for the meantime. It's just we will need somebody for that. And I hope we fill that last DP spot. I mean, they got to.
but what's out
First,
there that you want?
yeah. That's the thing. We got to start looking. They got to make their short list again. They better have a short list. I got to see some names because I haven't seen any names floating around since like really the winter where we talked about that Austrian guy Furtz, I think his name was, and then the whole Timo thing. So other than that, I haven't really seen any strong links for this club unless I'm missing some.
I just know that it can't be a DP in that sixth position. It has to be a winger or a forward. That's just my take, on my
Yeah, that
opinion.
means that it's going to be a big spot for Peter Stroud and Ronald Duncor to kind of fill that role of Felipe Carballo. They're not
I'll
going to
take
have
that gamble.
we're not asking them to score bangers from 18 yards out. You know what I mean? Just do the job that you need to do in that box to box midfield right there and
Perfect.
get us results, get us above that playoff line. Because right now, again, both teams coming into this game very mid. Charlotte, higher expectations for them this season. I really thought they'd be a top 4 team. I predicted them to be a top 4 team. Still time. And then we see Miami in 7th. So the whole table is a big fucking mess right now. I'm not, again, I told you guys before we recorded, I'm not trying to look at the table, all right? The table don't matter.
All right, boys, we got 2 minutes of extra time. Close this off. Jorge, and then Steve, show us your kid, and then also remind people about the event on Saturday.
I think everybody needs to pop out. The one thing that I do got to say is I feel like there's still a lack of people at these fucking games. The teams need to do better of getting these people to come to these fucking stadium.
It's
Dude,
not just Red Bulls. It's not just, it's across the league.
yeah, yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of across the even I saw at DC. Even DC is not even that packed.
I
Like it's
know.
not as packed as I think it should be. We
For a
had a
game
good
like
night
that.
versus LA, right? And obviously the Open Cup game, you can't really hold that against us. And that's been the last 2 games. So we'll see what it's like on and Wednesday. Fucking forget about it. Wednesday night. Come on. I mean, it's just it's difficult
You're right,
Wednesday
you're
night.
right.
They got a better chance Saturday night when you come to the pop-up and we all go from the Veritage party to the stadium on Saturday night. That'll be a good crowd.
Where is the pop up again? Remind the people.
Pop-ups at Veritage Brew House in Bloomfield, New Jersey. One of a kind event from 12 to 7. So we're gonna hang out, watch the Champions League final, eat some good food, drink some beers, check out some kits, see what else is going on in the area, have the whole environment, get all the Red Bulls fans together, and then we're gonna head to the stadium to see Red Bulls play Atlanta at 7:30 at SI Stadium.
Perfect ending. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening. Rebook.
Peace, boys.
TNV, baby, TNV.
Yeah, let's
I better get my
go.
hat tomorrow.
No sombre, man. No sombre.